Hey everybody, it is 2022 and I hope it is treating you well. Today we're going to look back at the best albums I discovered in 2021. That's right, the top 5 albums that I was listening to in 2021. So if you missed those, you're looking for something to listen to, it's cold outside, it's snowing, it's terrible, put on those headphones and let's listen to some great albums. So let's get the list started. At number 5, a very recognizable band that I'm sure you've heard of. Somebody told me that you had a boyfriend, whatever that song is. It is The Killers with the album Pressure Machine. That's right. This is an album that almost takes The Killers back to their original form of Hot Fuss. I really enjoyed this album a lot. Brandon Flowers is kind of going on a Bruce Springsteen type vibe here with some acoustics thrown in, a lot of storytelling, songs that reflect his hometown growing up, and I believe it is a remarkable album. My favorite track off the album is the tune Sleepwalker, which is just an amazing Killer song. Great harmony, great vibe, got a lot going on there. So if you have not listened to The Killers in a long time, this is the album to check out. I think you're going to like it if you like their early stuff. Some of the newer stuff with the dance qualities, you didn't like those. This is kind of return back to form. So go check out Killers, Pressure Machine. At number 4, one of my favorite artists out today, Kacey Musgraves, the album Star-Crossed, her divorce album. It is it's kind of a continuation of the last album that we all love, Golden Hour, but she got divorced in the meantime. And a lot of these songs, I guess the whole album reflects kind of that period. If you love Kacey Musgraves, you're going to love her voice. Like I said, it's a lot of the continuation of that synth pop kind of feel she had. Obviously, I love, as I'm looking at the track list now, Good Wife, I love it. Justified is a great movie. Breadwinner, Camera Roll. It's just a great album from top to finish, which is what kind of followed up on Golden Hour. I love that album. I like the vibe that was going on there, and I just love her sound she's cultivated. I love her voice. I love her songwriting. She's really just, right now, she's one of those perfect artists that you can't miss when she releases something. So, Kacey Musgraves, Star-Crossed, definitely go check that out if you haven't heard so. Coming at number 3, Foo Fighters, Medicine at Midnight. This album came out at the beginning of 2021, and it is one of my favorites without a doubt. You're looking at the track list. Making a Fire, Shame, Shame, Waiting on a War, Cloud Spotter, Medicine at Midnight. It just goes on and on. This is all like great songs on here. My personal favorite, Medicine at Midnight, which has a very Rolling Stones vibe to me. It sounds like a song that could have came out in the 80s era of Rolling Stones, and it is just, I love it. I listen to it over and over and over again. Dave Grohl is just a national treasure. And this is probably a mainstream artist, mainstream releases. This is my favorite. But I like to highlight the indie artists that I feel made albums that stand out just as well. So, Foo Fighters, number 3, great album. If you haven't gotten it, go out and get it today. You're not going to be disappointed. And let's talk about 2 albums by indie artists I think that you need to have in your life that I enjoyed quite a bit. So let's get to it. Number 2, this is Bowen, and this is The Art of Tactful Procrastination. This is an astounding album. Ender, I've known for years now, was fortunate enough to get to play with him, like I said, years ago when I was still in a band. He's been working on this album for a while now, and it's fun when you know someone to watch them mature as an artist, and this album right here is just coming into form here. It's an album that looks at life, when we grow up, what's expected of us? What are we going to do with our time? Are we going to make it as artists? Are we going to have to settle into just the grind that is life? And that is what this album's about. But some just amazing songs on here. Some of my favorites, as I've told him before, because I listened to this a while back, Bleeding Heart is a great song. Weight of the World, Still No Closer to Tomorrow, Addie. These are all just great. The opening track, Art of Tactful Procrastination. This is available right now, if you've never heard it, on all the platforms. I listen to it on Spotify all the time. I helped kick into a Kickstarter thing, so I got this album, got all kinds of great things out of it. But I'm telling you right now, if you're looking for, it's got the 90s vibe, think kind of Garbage, kind of Smashing Pumpkins, kind of that a kind of electro pop feel to it. If that's what you're kind of into, if you're looking to get back into that sound, then I think you're going to enjoy this album a lot. He was responsible for just about everything on the album, from instrumentation to tracking to remixing to production to distribution to everything, social media. So I love it when I see artists like that, and these are songs that have been stuck in my head since I've heard the album. So once again, Ender Bowen, number 2, The Art of Tactful Procrastination. Get it. You will thank me later for it. My number 1 album is an artist known as Georgia English. This is an illustrated book that came with the album called Pain and Power. I was fortunate enough to kind of meet Georgia English through some other artists that we had talked to on the podcast in the past. And she has to come on and promote this album. And good Lord, I am so glad she did. This album is a banger from top to finish. If you want a great voice and great songwriting, these lyrics are just amazing. I mean, America is on here as one of my favorite tracks. 3 Choices in Hell, Who, Where Are You Now, Statue of Jesus. There's not one bad track on this album. Like I said, this is the illustrated book. She did an illustrated book that goes with the album. So that's pretty ambitious. And she definitely pulled it off, but I love this album. She partnered with someone whose name I cannot remember right now, but it's basically, a 2-man crew. So album production by Josh Preston of Me and the Machine. All instruments performed by Josh. Background vocal arrangements by Georgia English. All lyrics and music by Georgia English. This is just an album that looks back at the year that was 2020, the craziness of it, the pandemic, all of those crazy things that kind of came to fruition, the social issues of America, the inner turmoil that we all suffered. It's all put on this album, and you will love it from top to bottom. I wish more people were really talking about this album. She came on the podcast, Blame Your Brother, and she performed some of the tracks, and it was just so great in person. So you definitely need to go get that album. Once again, it's available on all the platforms as well, or just Google Georgia English. You can buy it directly from her. You can get that illustrated book, which I suggest you do, because it's just, if you loved albums in the past and you got the vinyl and you flipped open the art, this is kind of a continuation of that. So albums, let's line them back up again. We had The Killers, Pressure Machine, number 5, Kacey Musgraves, Star Cross, number 4, Foo Fighters, Medicine at Midnight, number 3, Ender Bowen, The Art of Tactful Procrastination, number 2, and Georgia English, Pain and Power, number 1. Those are my top albums of 2021. Hopefully you guys can go check them out. Let me know what you think about them. Let me know what were some of your favorites in the comments below. Would love to hear that from you guys. Support local music, support big music, support it all, support art, and let's hope some great music is delivered to us in 2022. I'm very hopeful for it. So that's it. You guys enjoy. Rate, subscribe, review, all those things they tell you to do. And go listen to the podcast.